Ugh, ads are such poop. Subscribe to Acast Plus now to skip ads and more for just $1 a month. Click the link in our show notes to learn how. And hey, we're on Patreon too. Your support helps cover the cost of running a podcast. For $2 a month, you can get early access to all our episodes ad-free, plus bonus episodes exclusive to Patreon subscribers only. Visit patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse to sign up now. Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys.
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it. Husband!
Wife!
Do you know what we are doing today?
Well, we're kind of going back to the beginning.
We are the beginning.
One might even call it the Genesis.
The Genesis, the day, the one day, day one.
Well, there was like 7 of them.
But in the beginning, there was just the word.
And it was dark.
And he found it good until he did some other shit, and that was good too.
Right, and he made light twice.
He did. And
good stuff. And
there were 2 different creation stories.
Yeah.
And so he made things out of order depending on which one you go with.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we never did early on, when we first did Genesis, we never did a Contradictions episode.
That is correct, my good sir.
Which we've been doing for our other books.
We have.
So here we are, later on in our podcast, we're coming back to it.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing what?
We are doing, well, I think we call them not contradictions, but you're always wrong.
We're going to start that right in Genesis, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We are.
So here's our Contradictions episode for Genesis.
Yep. Okay, so we are doing our Genesis. You're always wrong.
But I mean, I can be right.
Nope, you're never right.
Please?
Nope.
Just this once?
Not even a bit.
Ah.
But I am going to say a couple things before we get started.
Just a couple?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, for one thing, the site that I use for these contradictions, there were 83 potential.
Holy fuck.
That's why it took me so long.
And this is just within Genesis?
Yeah, as compared to the rest of the Bible,
God.
Not just contradicting itself, but contradicted against other books.
Okay.
Contradictions throughout.
Got it.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we haven't read all the other books.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. It started out with 83, and I narrowed them down to, I think, 24. I'm not going to scroll all the way down there.
Okay.
Anyway, like about 25 questions.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it. Yeah.
More than that, though, the questions that I skipped were not only the ones that come from books that we haven't read yet. I also skipped ones that were like, how old was so-and-so when they entered this land? Were they 33 or 34? I don't fucking care.
Right, yeah.
And I could just as easily make that contradiction.
Sure.
So I don't know. I skipped kind of some of that. And then there were a couple others that we had kind of mentioned at the time that were like, I don't really feel like that's necessarily a contradiction so much as record keeping bullshit. And who was so-and-so's dad? Was it this guy or that guy from these countries? And I couldn't remember either of them, so I knew that you wouldn't. So obviously, who cares?
Right.
So I'm letting it be known that there are other questions. I narrowed it down to these 24, 25.
Sure.
So
yeah.
With that being said, number one. When was heaven created? Do you want multiple choices?
Yeah.
Okay. It was either in the beginning or it was on the second day of creation. Which one?
I mean, I'm going to go with in the beginning.
Right. I mean, obviously, that's where you should stow.
Sure.
Go. Stow it.
Yeah.
Because Genesis, chapter 1, verse 1, the very first sentence of the fucking Bible.
Right.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Right?
Yeah.
So you would think that that's the correct answer, but guess what?
That's not it.
You're always wrong.
Or it is it, but it's also this.
It's also this. Because on the second day of creation, God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. And the evening and the morning were the second day.
Okay.
And that is also in Genesis chapter 1, just a few verses later.
Got it.
So fuck off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Number 2.
2.
When did God divide light from darkness? Do you want some multiple choice?
No, it was on day 1 and day 4.
Did you just look at my list? Oh, you remember?
I know that, yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. You can't. You have to pick one.
Okay, fine. It was day 1.
Okay. So, yeah, on day 1, still in Genesis chapter 1 here, God divided the light from the darkness, and he called the light day, and he called the darkness night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. Okay?
Yeah, got it.
Yay. Mm-hmm. But also, you're always wrong, even though you tried to make it not so because you guessed both of the answers, but you're still wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Sure.
Okay. God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night, because that's how science doesn't work, to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good, but it wasn't really. And the evening and the morning were the 4th day.
Got it.
Yes, it was both at once.
Yeah.
So I guess on that one, you were right.
Okay.
But not really.
Oh,
no.
I'm clipping that shit.
Nope. Nope. That's why I mumbled it, so it makes a lousy clip. Number 3, when were the stars made? Okay, wait. It makes me think of the movie Ghostbusters, where she goes, "Is it a star?" at the very beginning when, Peter Venkman is testing the subjects, trying to test for ESP, and he shocks the guy, and
right, yeah,
he tells the girl, "Clear your mind."
Yeah, and I got it.
Yeah. Is it a star? So when were they made?
4th day?
Well, you would think that, because it does say that on the 4th day of creation, after the earth was made, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth in Genesis verse 1. Shut up. Chapter 1, verse 1.
Yeah.
Okay. And he made the stars also, and God set them in the firmament of the heaven, and the evening and the morning were the 4th day.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But also, you're always wrong.
Okay.
Because it happened before the earth was made.
Oh.
Where wast thou when I laid the foundations of the earth, when the morning stars sang together? And that was just in chapter Job. Yeah.
But how does that mean that it was done before the earth was made?
Because he laid the foundations of the earth and then the morning stars.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's not real clear, I don't think.
Yeah, that's not real clear. I probably shouldn't have included that, but I just wanted to because I really liked the whole morning stars singing together.
Sure.
And I also liked that we just read Job.
Sure. Okay.
So
all right.
It just felt good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it.
But yeah, I won't say that you were wrong on that one because it's a dumb question, but I certainly won't say that you were right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 4, how many gods are there?
Well, there's countless gods.
Are there?
There are. And even Yahweh technically is multiple gods because Elohim and, all that wonderful shit.
Yeah. There are several gods. In the book of Genesis, God uses a plural pronoun to refer to himself, herself, itself, themselves, whatever, implying that there is more than one God up there. So, like in Genesis, he says, "And God said, let us make man in our image." And then further on in Genesis, "And the Lord said, behold, that man has become as one of us to know good and evil." And then later on he says, "Let us go down there and confound their language." So, yeah. The Old Testament God is a God of gods who is worshipped by other gods. Okay. So in Deuteronomy, we've got, "For the Lord your God is God of gods and Lord of lords."
Yeah.
And also he's better than the other gods.
Of course he is. Because, Yahweh, Elohim, whatever.
Yeah. In Exodus, we've got, "Who is like unto thee, O Lord, among all the gods?"
Yeah.
And also, "Now I know that the Lord is greater than all gods." And also, still in Exodus, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me."
But this is, by the time we got to Exodus, though, this is when they were talking about other gods. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
like these other gods that exist out there,
Mm-hmm.
and they were kind of like localized demigod type
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. But still,
Sure.
how many gods, you know?
Right. No,
There's
lots
a
of
bunch.
gods.
There's a bunch.
Yeah.
The Hebrew God judges the other God, and there's all kinds of stuff about that. And he's a jealous God. He's
Oh,
jealous
he
of
is.
other gods.
Definitely is.
So, I mean, there's all kinds. Oh, and if you give God glory, he'll go easy on you and all your other gods. You know?
Okay, yeah.
And these are all like in the early parts of the Bible, except for the one that I just said is in First Samuel. So even as far as First Samuel, he was like talking about other gods.
Wow. Yeah.
And in First. Aw, what happened?
Well, this was our Contradictions episode for Genesis, which we actually did so that we could wrap up doing our standalone podcast that we have over for our Sacrilegious Discourse Genesis podcast that stands on its own.
On its own?
Yeah, so we're going to be doing separate podcasts for each book of the Bible.
Oh, standalone over there.
Yeah, and we never did a Contradictions episode for Genesis, so we're making up that here. But to catch the full episode, you're going to have to go over to the Sacrilegious Discourse Genesis podcast to catch that, which I'll have links for in the show notes here. So if you want to go to it, it is free to listen to. You just got to head over to the link and go listen to it there.
Over there.
Over there.
Not here.
Not here.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.